Oh, g'day Tim. How you going, mate?
Oh, g'day, how you going?
Yeah, I have to bring back this computer. It's not working.
Oh, sorry to hear that. What happened?
Oh yeah, what happened? Yeah, I was just playing some games, and then there's this noise, and poof, it stopped working. But I figured since you were the one that worked on it last, it's something that you've done. So I thought I'd better bring it in for you.
Oh, wow. Okay, that doesn't sound good at all. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I had that one set up pretty well. It seems a bit odd. But anyway, give it here and I'll have a look.
Oh yeah.
So, just curious, did you happen to change anything with the computer before this happened?
No, I don't know that I've changed anything. I was just playing some games, and I overclocked my card a little bit.
Oh, so you did change the clock settings on the graphics card. You didn't happen to play with the voltages at all?
Did I touch the voltage settings? Don't think so.
You're kind of not sounding too confident about that. Actually, your voice sounds kind of familiar. Did you call me the other day? I'm pretty sure you did. And you were supposed to bring it in then, and you didn't.
No, I didn't call you the other day and not call you back. I wouldn't do something like that. I don't ghost people.
Right. How the heck did he do that? G'day everyone, hope you're having a good day today, or night, depending on where you are. Today we're just going to be doing something a bit more basic. Not a gaming computer, but I'm going to be building a home computer. This is just going to be basic run-of-the-mill stuff, general purpose, no graphics card, just integrated Intel. But I did get him a nice little white case to make it a little bit more stylish looking. We'll start building that today, and let's have a look at the case to start with. I'll get it out. So I've gone for a Silverstone Fara H1M. As you can see, it's got a lovely tempered glass side. Comes with a pre-installed 120mm fan for the rear. Power supply is down in the bottom, which is quite normal for modern cases. Has options in there for a liquid cooler on the front, which we won't be doing because it's just going to be a home computer. Removable dust filter, very nice. And on the top, we've got your power reset. We've got a USB 3, two USB 2, headphones and microphone connectors. So at least make it a little bit nicer to look at when it's in the home. So we'll move on to the parts that I'm going to be putting inside it. So I'm just going to switch camera modes and we'll have a look at it.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
Alright, so the motherboard I'm putting in is the B760 Bomber Wi-Fi from MSI. Good little board, supports the 14th, 13th and 12th gen CPUs from Intel, and has supports Gen 4 SSDs, DDR5 and Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. That's what the motherboard will be. We are then going to have some Corsair 16 gig DDR5 5200 megahertz RAM, and this is the Vengeance series. Yeah, so there'll be plenty of RAM for a home computer. But an interesting thing I've been discovering lately is the 16 gig kits seem to be really hard to get in Australia. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that problem elsewhere in the world, but yeah, if you want 32 gig kits, they're quite readily available, but for some reason 16 gig kits are hard to get. For storage, we've got the Kingston NV3 Gen 4 NVMe SSD with 1 terabyte, so plenty of storage, and a processor that's going to power it is going to be an Intel i5 14th gen 14400 processor, so a pretty standard all-around processor that I generally use for home computers. And then to top it all off, Deepcool PL650D 650 watt power supply. I know for a fact Deepcool is not available in America because they've been sanctioned and banned, but in Australia we're still allowed to buy it, and they're actually a pretty good power supply for their price. So that's what I've gone with. The only reason I got them a 650 watt is because a 550 watt was pretty much the same price, so may as well give them a little bit more headroom in case they want to put an upgrade in the computer later on. That's the power supply. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll move into installing the bits and pieces into the motherboard and getting it ready. Alright, normally I skip over showing you this part, but I thought this time I'll show you how I set up a main board. And there's the motherboard there. So this is going to be a brand new computer with there will be some data transfer. So when I have a data transfer, I don't normally install the SSD because I need to copy the data over first. So we'll only be putting the CPU and RAM on the board today. Alright, so as you can see, the CPU comes with an official Intel heatsink and fan, and it comes with this little bit of thermal paste. You can probably just leave it that way if you want, but I generally don't leave it at that because I feel like it's not quite enough paste. So I usually add my own, and then I just use a little bit of circuit cleaner, tissue, just wipe the pre-installed paste off. My favourite paste is Arctic MX6. I find it to be a very good and reliable paste, and as I've mentioned in the previous video, I usually use a spatula to spread mine across the heatsink view depending on what I'm doing. I just find that way you get good coverage, and it's not a huge thick layer either, it's just a nice covering, and that's ready to go. Now with your CPUs, this is an Intel 1700 socket. A 1700 socket takes 14th, 13th and 12th gen Intel CPUs. The new one that takes the Intel Ultra, it's a different socket. It's an 1851, I think it is. But yeah, the way it works is you've got this little lever here, you push down, out and up, which then releases this. And as you can see, we've got the pins in there don't ever damage those pins, whatever you do. They're pretty much impossible to fix if you damage them. But I've seen so many people do it, and I'm not quite sure how they do it, but they do it somehow. And yeah, it'll void warranty if you do that and try to take it back to the store, because it's physical damage. Generally, the damage occurs when people are reckless and make mistakes and do silly things. So yeah, it's just swing up the arm. There's a little latch here, a little arm there that you can use to open it. Now there's a little notches on the end, and they match the notching on the CPU here. So it's pretty hard to get it wrong, to be honest, because this notch is longer and this notch is shorter in, so there's only one way it can possibly go in. And you just take your time and you plop it in very gently, put the little lid down, and as you push down it should just pop that little plastic thing off. Swing your lever down and hook it under, and there's a decent amount of pressure you have to put on it, so don't freak out, but that's just to make sure that there's good contact with the CPU and the pins. And there you go, the CPU is on. So we'll put on the heatsink. So I like to just put the heatsink cable down the inside of these little mounts, and you just get the mounts just in the right place, just loosely. I like to wiggle to make sure they're in the little holes, and then it's a matter of just diagonally, always do it diagonal, push down until you hear the clicks, and then diagonally again. I always think do that on top of the motherboard box, because I find the extra little bit of flexibility of the cardboard box underneath helps getting those to click in. If you do it on a hard surface, you may find you have trouble getting that to click. So that's just my little tidbit there. Once you got it, the heatsink mounted on, we just connect our CPU fan to the CPU fan header, and there you go. And then I just adjust this cable to make it a little bit neater. Alright, we'll go to the RAM next. So I had to voice over this bit because I kept getting the information wrong. So yeah, with RAM, there's a notch in the middle, and there's a shorter bit and a longer bit, which matches up with the slot that you're going to put it in. The slot actually does have little latches on either end of it as well, which you have to open first. And then once you've done that, you can push the RAM in correctly, and it should click in. If you find it's rocking back and forth, and that usually means you got it aligned in correctly. The other thing to be aware of with RAM is you need to populate the slots correctly in order for the computer to boot. If you, in this case, only had one stick of RAM, which I don't recommend, but you'd have to put it in slot 2. The reason I use 2 sticks of RAM in most computers is the benefits of dual channel mode, which gives you much better throughput rates on the RAM. So yeah, it's always superior than over one stick of RAM. If you had a 4-slot motherboard, the same deal, you'd need to populate it correctly. Just check your manual on the motherboard. It will always show you where to put your memory sticks depending on how many you've got. So that fixes up my stuff up, so let's move on to the rest of the video. I will take off the heatsink for the SSD, and that's where the NVMe SSD will go in, and we just take this heatsink off, and it's got a little peel on it to protect the thermal pad that's used to help keep that cool. But yeah, we'll leave that off for now, and I'll put that in the box until we get customs data, and we'll move on to mounting the motherboard into the case. So I'll get set up for that and I'll be back.
Stay here, I'll be back.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I had to make this into a 2-part video because it went too long. So yeah, part 2 will be up soon. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it with plenty of detail so you can see just every little step of the way of putting a computer together. So yeah, I will see you in the next vid when it comes out. Okay, bye.